Want to skip all the conjugations and start speaking Italian with confidence without memorizing hundreds of verbs? You don't need to learn every verb in the Italian dictionary. In fact, if you just master 6 verbs, you can say practically anything in Italian. That's why in this lesson, I'll walk you through the 6 most powerful and essential Italian verbs, including 4 modal verbs that Italians use every single day. How to build thousands of sentences with one simple formula, plus the 2 most powerful verbs in the Italian language. Once you've learned these verbs, you can take things a step further with my Intrepid Italian 30-day verbs challenge to learn even more verbs and expand your vocabulary further. For more details on that, visit the description below. And don't worry about taking notes for today, because I've done all the hard work for you. To help you to practice everything you're about to see here today, make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which includes all the verbs and examples from today's lesson. Just click on the link in the description below this video. Pronti? Are you ready? Iniziamo! Let's get started. Ciao, I'm Michelle. That's Michelle with one L. I was born in Australia and my Italian dad named me after my nonno Michele. But I didn't speak a word of Italian growing up. I decided to learn it as an adult, and now I help thousands of students like you do the same using my unique 80-20 method. So if you want to learn Italian, connect with your Italian heritage, or just have more authentic travel experiences in Italy, you're in the right place. Okay, let's jump into today's lesson. How do you use Italian modal verbs? Modal verbs are a special group of Italian verbs that don't just tell us what happens, but how it happens. Italians also call them
verbi servili,
coming from the verb
servire,
meaning to serve or to be needed, because that's what they do. They serve another verb by adding meaning to it, clarifying the manner in which the action is carried out. Is it an intention? Does it have to do with an ability, or is it perhaps an obligation? Let's take a look at the 4 main modal verbs in Italian. They are
volere,
to want,
potere,
to be able to, can,
dovere,
to have to or must, and then we have
sapere,
to know how to. Now these are all irregular Italian verbs, which means you need to memorize each one and how they're conjugated. But once you do, you'll be able to create all sorts of sentences on your own. How? With this handy secret formula. Take a look. First, you take the conjugated form of the modal verb. Then you add any infinitive verb after it. That's it. No need to memorize long lists of conjugations. With just these 4 verbs, plus the other 2 you'll see later, you'll be able to express pretty much anything you want to in Italian. Don't believe me? Take a look at this example. Instead of saying,
vieni a teatro con noi domani?
are you coming to the theatre with us tomorrow? You could say,
Vuoi venire a teatro con noi domani?
do you want to come to the theatre with us tomorrow? See the difference here? There is no need to remember the second person singular form of venire, to come. You just conjugate the modal verb volere, want, and you add the infinitive after it. So let's break each of these verbs down and explore how they are used and how you can use them to conjugate less and say more. The first verb we'll take a look at is volere, to want or to want to. Here are the key conjugations for this verb, including the present tense, imperfect, simple future, the past tense, and the present conditional.
Presente. Voglio, vuoi, vuole, vogliamo, volete, vogliono. Imperfetto. Volevo, volevi, voleva, volevamo, volevate, volevano. Futuro semplice. Vorrò, vorrai, vorrà, vorremo, vorrete, vorranno. Passato prossimo. Ho voluto, hai voluto, ha voluto, abbiamo voluto, avete voluto, hanno voluto. Condizionale presente. Vorrei, vorresti, vorrebbe, vorremmo, vorreste, vorrebbero.
With volere, you can express desires, requests, and future intentions quite easily. It can be used on its own, followed by a noun, or with another verb in the infinitive form, which makes it a handy shortcut. Here's how to use it in everyday conversations. To say what you want, just like I want in English. A standard phrase would be,
Comprerei una gonna rossa.
I'd like to buy a red skirt. But with a modal verb you can say,
Vorrei comprare una gonna rossa.
I'd like to buy a red skirt.
Domani mangiamo una bella carbonara.
Tomorrow I'm eating a nice carbonara. But with the modal verb, it becomes easier and you can say,
Domani vogliamo mangiare una bella carbonara.
Tomorrow I want to eat a nice carbonara. Attenzione! In Italian, using volere in the present tense to ask for something can sound a bit direct and impolite. Instead, Italians soften it with the conditional form, in which case you would say,
Vorrei mangiare una margherita.
I'd like a margherita pizza. Now, if you're unsure how and when to use the conditional tense in Italian, make sure you watch my full video lesson right here. We can also use volere to talk about a desire or a future goal. Take a look at these examples. The standard phrase might be,
Ci piacerebbe comprare una casa in montagna.
we would like to buy a house in the mountains. But by using the modal verb volere, you can make things easier on yourself and say,
Vorremmo comprare una casa in montagna.
we would like to buy a house in the mountains.
Sognavo di andare in Giappone.
I would like to go to Japan. Or with a modal verb you can say,
Volevo andare in Giappone.
I would like to go to Japan. Volere can also be used to offer something or to ask what others want. Take a look at these examples. The standard phrase might be,
Assaggiate il limoncello della casa?
would you like to try the house limoncello? Alternatively, you could say,
Volete assaggiare il limoncello della casa?
would you like to try the house limoncello?
Mangi qualcosa prima di uscire?
Would you like to eat something before going out? Alternatively, with the modal verb, you can say,
Vuoi mangiare qualcosa prima di uscire?
would you like to eat something before going out? Volere can also be used to make invitations. Take a look at these examples. The standard phrase might be,
Partecipi alla raccolta fondi?
would you like to participate in the fundraising? Or with volere, you can change it to,
Vuoi partecipare alla raccolta fondi?
would you like to participate in the fundraising?
Signora Gianna, viene con noi a teatro?
Miss Gianna, would you like to come to the theatre with us? Or with volere, you can simplify things and say,
Signora Gianna, vuole venire con noi a teatro?
Miss Gianna, would you like to come to the theatre with us? Here's a little trick to sound even more natural. When volere is in the infinitive and followed by another verb, it often gets shortened to voler. This helps everything flow more smoothly. Take a look at this example.
Simone continua a non voler mangiare.
Simone insists on not wanting to eat. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which you'll find a link to in the description below this video. Now let's move on to the second modal verb, which is potere, meaning can or be able to. Take a look at its key conjugations.
Presente. Posso. Puoi. Può. Possiamo. Potete. Possono. Imperfetto. Potevo. Potevi. Poteva. Potevamo. Potevate. Potevano. Futuro semplice. Potrò. potrai, potrà, potremo, potrete, potranno. Passato prossimo. Ho potuto, hai potuto, ha potuto, abbiamo potuto, avete potuto, hanno potuto. Condizionale presente. Potrei, potresti, potrebbe, potremmo, potreste, potrebbero.
Potere is the verb you need to talk about what's possible or allowed, or what can happen. Unlike the English can, which often refers to personal ability, potere is more about what is feasible based on external factors like permission or circumstances. Using the formula potere plus any infinitive is the simplest way to express these ideas. Take a look at the most common ways to use potere in Italian. We can use it to talk about what's possible or likely to happen. A standard phrase might be,
Aiuto anch'io.
I'll help too. With the modal verb potere, you can say,
Posso aiutare anch'io.
I can help too. Another standard phrase you might hear is,
Vanno ancora in giro nonostante la denuncia?
are they still roaming free despite the charge? But if you use a modal verb, it becomes easier and you can say,
Possono andare ancora in giro nonostante la denuncia?
can they still roam free despite the charge? Attenzione! When talking about knowing how to do something, like play an instrument or play sports or other activities, Italians use sapere instead of potere. Think of it as I know how to. Take a look at this example.
So parlare in cinese, ma non so scrivere molto bene.
I know how to speak Chinese, but I don't know how to write very well. You can also use potere to ask for permission or politely request something. Take a look at these examples.
Possiamo venire da te più tardi?
Can we come over later?
Posso fare una telefonata?
Can I make a phone call? Another standard phrase would be,
Ci sediamo qui?
can we sit here? But if you use a modal verb, you can simplify things and say,
Possiamo sederci qui?
can we sit here? Or what about this one?
Ordinate voi le pizze?
Will you order the pizzas? You can use a modal verb here as well and say,
Potete ordinare voi le pizze?
can you order the pizzas? Potere can also be used to say that something is not possible or to express a prohibition. Take a look at these examples. A standard phrase would be,
Non parcheggiate qui, è vietato.
don't park here, it's prohibited. But with a modal verb, you can say,
Non potete parcheggiare, è vietato.
you cannot park here, it's prohibited.
Non vengo in montagna questo fine settimana. Devo studiare.
I'm not coming to the mountains this weekend. I have to study. But with potere, you can say,
Non posso venire in montagna questo fine settimana. Devo studiare.
I can't come to the mountains this weekend. I have to study. Moving on to the next modal verb, which is dovere, meaning must or have to. Take a look at its key conjugations.
Presente. Devo. Devi. Deve. Dobbiamo. Dovete. Devono. Imperfetto. Dovevo. Dovevi. Doveva. Dovevamo. Dovevate. Dovevano. Futuro semplice. Dovrò. Dovrai. Dovrà. Dovremo. Dovrete. Dovranno. Passato prossimo. Ho dovuto. Hai dovuto. Ha dovuto. Abbiamo dovuto. Avete dovuto. Hanno dovuto. Condizionale presente. Dovrei. Dovresti. Dovrebbe. Dovremmo. Dovreste. Dovrebbero.
The verb dovere is used to express obligations, duties, or things that must be done. It also helps to give advice and make logical assumptions, and even talk about payments and debts. Here's how to use dovere in everyday Italian. You can use it to talk about things you must do or have to do. Take a look at these examples. In a standard phrase, you could say,
Andrò in ufficio anche sabato.
I have to go to the office even on Saturday. But by using the modal verb dovere, you can keep it more simple and say,
Dovrò andare in ufficio anche sabato.
I have to go to the office even on Saturday.
Partite presto domani?
Are you leaving early tomorrow?
Dovete partire presto domani?
Are you leaving early tomorrow? You can also use dovere to give advice and suggest what should be done. Take a look at this standard phrase.
Chiama tua madre, altrimenti si preoccupa.
You should call your mum or she'll worry. But by using dovere, you can say,
Devi chiamare tua madre, altrimenti si preoccupa.
you should call your mum or she'll worry.
Leggete questo libro, è incredibile.
Read this book, it's incredible.
Dovete leggere questo libro, è incredibile.
You must read this book, it's incredible. You can also use dovere to express what was supposed to happen but didn't, using the imperfect tense. Take a look at this standard phrase.
Eravamo d'accordo di vederci qui un'ora fa.
We agreed to meet here an hour ago. But with dovere, you can say,
Dovevamo vederci qui un'ora fa.
we agreed to meet here an hour ago.
Avevano deciso di andare al concerto insieme.
They decided to go to the concert together.
Dovevano andare al concerto insieme.
They decided to go to the concert together. To learn more about how and when to use the imperfect tense in Italian, make sure you watch my video lesson right here. Now, dovere is also used to guess or assume something based on what we know or what seems logical. Take a look at this standard phrase and how you can make it more simple by using dovere.
Immagino costi parecchio.
It must cost a lot.
Deve costare parecchio.
It must cost a lot.
Presumo siano buoni questi pasticcini. Sono fatti in casa.
I assume these pastries are good. They are homemade.
Devono essere buoni quei pasticcini. Sono fatti in casa.
These pastries must be good. They are homemade. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which you'll find a link to in the description below this video. The next Italian modal verb is sapere. This means to know how to. Take a look at its key conjugations.
Presente. So. Sai. Sa. Sappiamo. Sapete. Sanno. Imperfetto. Sapevo. Sapevi. Sapeva. Sapevamo. Sapevate. Sapevano. Futuro semplice. Saprò. Saprai. Saprà. Sapremo. Saprete. Sapranno. Passato prossimo. Ho saputo. Hai saputo. Ha saputo. Abbiamo saputo. Avete saputo. Hanno saputo. Condizionale presente. Saprei. Sapresti. Saprebbe. Sapremmo. Sapreste. Saprebbero.
Perhaps you already know that sapere means to know, but when used as a modal verb, it actually means to know how to do something. Unlike potere, where the ability to do something depends on external factors, sapere is about things that you can do because you've learned how to do them. They are skills. Another interesting characteristic of sapere as a modal verb is its behavior in the past tense, the passato prossimo. Now, while other modal verbs, including volere, potere, and dovere, retain their meaning in this tense, implying that the action was completed, sapere undergoes a complete shift in meaning. It no longer refers to a state of knowing, as in knowing how to do something, but instead indicates a moment of discovery or acquiring knowledge, and it means found out. Now, to learn more about how and when to use the passato prossimo in Italian, make sure you watch my video lesson right here. Now, in addition, as a modal verb, sapere followed by the infinitive helps to avoid the conjugations of verbs like
Imparare.
to learn,
Essere in grado di.
to be able to, or
Essere capace di.
to be able to. Take a look at these examples. In a standard phrase, you could say,
Anche voi suonate il pianoforte?
do you also know how to play the piano? But with the modal verb sapere, you can say,
Anche voi sapete suonare il pianoforte?
do you also know how to play the piano?
Giovanni parlava molto bene il tedesco al liceo.
Giovanni spoke German very well in high school.
Giovanni sapeva parlare molto bene il tedesco al liceo.
Giovanni knew how to speak German very well in high school.
Custodiremo il tuo segreto.
We will keep your secret.
Sapremo custodire il segreto.
We will be able to keep the secret.
Scusa, che ore sono?
Excuse me, what time is it?
Scusa, mi sai dire l'ora?
Excuse me, can you tell me the time? Now let's take a look at auxiliary verbs with Italian modal verbs. As a reminder, the auxiliary verbs are essere, to be, and avere, to have. Now in compound tenses, the auxiliary verb that you use with modal verbs depends on the verb that comes after them. Now if the modal verb is followed by a verb that normally takes essere, to be, then the whole sentence uses essere as the auxiliary. And with the auxiliary essere, you need to adjust the past participle according to the gender and number of the subject. Take a look at these examples to see it in action.
Lucia non è voluta andare a scuola oggi.
Lucia didn't want to go to school today.
Sergio è dovuto andare via subito.
Sergio had to leave immediately. Now, if the modal verb is followed by a verb that normally takes avere, to have, then the sentence also uses avere as the auxiliary. In this case, the past participle does not change to match the gender or number of the subject. Take a look at these examples.
Ho voluto provare.
I wanted to try.
Elena non ha saputo recitare la poesia.
Eleanor wasn't able to recite the poem. If the modal verb is not followed by another verb, but directly takes a noun, as in a direct object, then it always takes avere as the auxiliary. Take a look at this example.
Abbiamo voluto fortemente questo evento.
We strongly wanted this event. Finally, with reflexive verbs, there are two possibilities. If the reflexive pronoun comes before the modal verb, we use the auxiliary essere. Take a look at this example.
Oggi ci siamo dovuti svegliare molto presto.
Today we had to wake up very early. If the reflexive pronoun is attached to the infinitive, we use avere, as in,
Abbiamo dovuto svegliarci presto oggi.
we had to wake up early today. Now let's take a look at the position of pronouns with Italian modal verbs. Now, when using pronouns with modal verbs in Italian, there are two ways to place them in a sentence. You can place the pronoun right before the modal verb. Take a look at this dialogue.
Hai visto le nuove scarpe di Chiara?
Did you see Chiara's new shoes?
Sì, le voglio comprare anch'io.
Yes, I want to buy them too. Or you can attach the pronoun directly to the infinitive verb that follows the modal verb. Take a look.
Giacomo ti sta cercando.
Giacomo is looking at you.
Vero, dovevo chiamarlo.
Right, I should have called him. Attenzione, you cannot place the pronoun between the modal verb and the infinitive verb. You can only choose one of the two correct placements that we've just seen. This way, you won't make any mistakes. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet if you haven't done so already. Just click on the link in the description below this video. Okay, let's move on to the fifth verb, which is an auxiliary verb, essere, to be. Essere is another essential verb in Italian. It's practically everywhere. You can use it in virtually every sentence, whether you're talking about emotions, qualities, locations, and it's essential for building compound tenses of many verbs. And it's irregular too. Take a look at its key conjugations.
Presente. Sono. Sei. È. Siamo. Siete. Sono. Imperfetto. Ero. Eri. Era. Eravamo. Eravate. Erano. Futuro semplice. Sarò. Sarai. Sarà. Saremo. Sarete. Saranno. Passato prossimo. Sono stato. Stata. Sei stato. Stata. È stato. Stata. Siamo stati. State. Siete stati. State. Sono stati. State. Condizionale presente. Sarei. Saresti. Sarebbe. Saremmo. Sareste. Sarebbero.
So what are the main uses of essere in Italian? You can use it to introduce yourself or others, talking about your age, job or nationality, or other personal details. Take a look at this example.
Io sono Michele. Sono australiana.
I'm Michelle. I'm Australian. Note that this one's about me. I have a masculine name, but I'm female, hence australiana. Another example is
Suo fratello è un famoso medico.
her brother is a famous doctor. We also use essere to describe objects, people, or places. For example,
Queste scarpe sono bellissime.
these shoes are beautiful.
Vostro zio è simpaticissimo.
Your uncle is super nice. Essere is also used to express how you feel or to describe someone's emotional state. For example,
Sono felice di essere qui.
I'm happy to be here.
Stefano è molto arrabbiato.
Stefano is really angry. Essere can sometimes replace the verbs stare and trovarsi when you're talking about locations or situations. For example,
Siete ancora a casa?
are you still at home?
Mio fratello è ancora a Londra.
My brother is still in London. And finally, essere plays a key role as an auxiliary verb in compound tenses, especially with intransitive verbs, reflexive verbs, impersonal verbs, and even essere itself. Take a look at these examples.
Sono arrivato tardi.
I arrived late.
Mi sono svegliato presto.
I woke up early. Last but not least, we have the sixth Italian verb that you can't live without, which is avere, to have. Now, avere is another extremely useful Italian verb for constructing sentences in Italian. You'll use it to talk about things you own, your age, and even how you're feeling. And along with essere, it's key to forming compound tenses of many verbs. Once again, you'll need to memorize some of its irregular forms in order to truly master it. Take a look at its key conjugations.
Presente. Ho. Hai. Ha. Abbiamo. Avete. Hanno. Imperfetto. Avevo. Avevi. Aveva. Avevamo. Avevate. Avevano. Futuro semplice. Avrò. Avrai. Avrà. Avremo. Avrete. Avranno. Passato prossimo. Ho avuto. Hai avuto. Ha avuto. Abbiamo avuto. Avete avuto. Hanno avuto. Condizionale presente. Avrei. Avresti. Avrebbe. Avremmo. Avreste. Avrebbero.
Now let's take a look at the main uses of avere in Italian. We use it to talk about possessions. For example,
Claudio ha una bellissima auto.
Claudio owns a beautiful car.
Avete una penna rossa?
Do you have a red pen? You can use it to talk about age, as in,
Quanti anni avete?
how old are you?
Mio padre ha 70 anni.
My dad is 70 years old. Avere is also used to describe physical characteristics, such as,
Il mio ragazzo ha gli occhi verdi.
my boyfriend has green eyes.
Sua sorella ha i capelli castani.
His sister has brown hair. Avere is also used to express physical needs or certain feelings. For example, you can say,
Abbiamo fame.
we're hungry.
Ho paura.
I'm afraid. Avere serves as the auxiliary verb for transitive verbs and for avere itself. Take a look at these examples.
Non hanno avuto tempo.
They didn't have time.
Hai mangiato le banane?
Did you eat the bananas? Now that you know how to use all 6 of these Italian verbs, I want you to write a sentence and share it in the comments below. You can take things a step further with my Intrepid Italian 30-day verbs challenge to learn even more verbs and expand your vocabulary further. For more details on that, visit the description below. And to continue your learning and to help you practice everything you've learned here today, make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which you'll find a link to in the description below this video. If you enjoyed this lesson, then you'll love Intrepid Italian, my series of online self-paced video courses that break down everything you need to know about Italian using my unique 80-20 method. More details in the description below. And if you enjoyed this lesson, don't miss my lesson on how to use all Italian pronouns, which you can do by watching this video right here. Plus, if you want to master all Italian tenses, you can do that by watching this video right here. In the meantime, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on those notifications so you make sure that you don't miss out on any future lessons like this one. Until next time, un abbraccio. Ciao!